Which tree?
When I had the opportunity to play a Plague Tale Innocence recently, I thought it was going to be a sort of cool game to play for a few hours and then walk away. But instead, from my short time with the game, I have a lot more to think about the game. And honestly, it may be the surprise hit of the year. And if it's not on your radar, you really should put it on about now. If you're not too sure what a Plague Tale Innocence is, you play as a girl called Alicia, who, due to circumstances I'm not going to spoil, you now have to take care of your younger brother Hugo. Not only that, but it's set in 14th, I believe it's 14th century France during the Black Death or the Plague, where thousands of rats just like run through towns and villages, and as the name would suggest, and if you know already, it causes death wherever it goes. And initially, I think if you heard about the game or at least see it, you may think, oh, this is sort of just showing off a cool, like, technical thing with the thousands of rats on the screen at one time. But even just the rats alone, it is impressive to look at. But then also you see them run and scurry as you sort of use them with fire. You see them though go into holes in the wall, sort of separate and run away, and it's just something that really adds to the terror that they are. Instead of this survival game is added a different layer just to how they handle this. It's not like they don't feel like they disappear like they would in other games where it's shown off so much on the screen at one time. But man, it's just the beginning of the game. Like, this is the beginning, I mean, of why this game is so enthralling to me. Like, number one, the visuals are absolutely stunning. You go through the countryside and it goes from beautiful trees with the light shining through with so much detail and clarity and colour to these dark and grungy and disgusting areas where rats have already taken over. You go into these churches that are all dark and candlelit, and just the actual variety on show in the short time I had with the game is so impressive. But even beyond that, the atmosphere it creates, like, this is honestly one of the most atmospheric games I've played in a long time, and it's amplified by the incredible score that you get to listen to. The voice acting, it definitely does the job. The writing is totally fine, but it's in those moments where you're slowly walking through an area and the music just takes hold and you fear for what's around the corner, or you're awed by the absolutely beauty of the environment around you and nature, to then being horrified by what the rats have done. And then while you're going through all of this, you're also looking after this young boy you feel like you're not ready to look after, especially in the world that's there. And there's just something to this game that I haven't stopped thinking about a lot. Honestly, like, through all these big releases that have come out, I'm thinking of this game, and I'm looking forward to May to finally get to go through the whole game and just, and so I guess enjoy might not be the right word, because it is a dark game. There's things that happen very early on of the game that kind of sets the tone for you ain't gonna be laughing a lot throughout this game, but it's still a game of survival and beauty and death and despair and fear, and there's just a lot of emotion, there's a lot of themes. But ultimately this could be such a special game, and it releases very soon. And the gameplay is of a survival nature where you'll figure out puzzles to get the rats to stay away from you, as well as human threats where you've got to figure out ways to either get around them or take them out with your slingshot. And there's enough variety from what I've played and from what I've seen. There's enough there to sort of keep that rather simplistic, I guess, in inverted commas, combat, because there's not a ton of it. Just keep it sort of interesting. Like, it's all about finding the light and finding new ways to get through areas, and there's just enough puzzle variety, enough combat encounter situations that it feels like it will keep things fresh. and that ultimately then when this game launches very soon, I cannot wait to put time into this, to go through the whole thing, and I really hope if you haven't been paying attention to this game, you really do now.